Some people prefer a license that is a little more difficult, which is a CC non-commercial license, which is, it's my work, my name is on it, you can use it for anything you want unless you're going to make money. If you're going to make money, come talk to me first, and maybe I'll say no, or maybe I'll say I want a piece of the money. But it's a way of dividing up copyright, which it feels like it's indivisible, right? You either have it or you don't, into the pieces that you care about and the pieces that you don't. If all academic scholars who wrote journal articles in the sciences, they never get paid a dime for actually selling them, did their work on a Creative Commons license, a lot of the problems, the big problems of academic libraries would go away. If all authors who were mostly interested in their works being read rather than their royalties, and of course most works don't earn significant royalties, executed Creative Commons licenses, this would greatly simplify these problems, because now we would know, because it has a little CC thing on it, who actually has the rights, and we'd know just by looking at the work what it could be used for, and that would be an enormous helper in this world, no question about it. If we could get the state of Michigan, for example, so the University of Michigan Library issues everything on its webpage on a Creative Commons license, which tells you exactly how you can use it. If we get the state of Michigan to do that, we would have had a good day's work here today.
Well, how does that reconcile with publishers and our authors writing these works, sort of putting them out there, and then rather than writing to, like submitting their work to a particular journal? Because who owns that copyright then if it's accepted by a journal?
So the way it is now, it depends on the journal. So when you write the work, you own the copyright. Many, I shouldn't say most, that's still true, most, academic journals require that you transfer copyright to them in order to be willing to publish it. Well, that raises interesting questions. Many journals don't require that, so you might want to look, depending on what you want to do, for journals that don't require that. If you're going to work with a journal that does require that, then you have lost your copyrights, unless you can negotiate with them, which often you can. So often you can get from a journal a non-exclusive permanent license to use the work yourself for various purposes. Often you can get that their copyright would expire, their sole copyright would expire after some relatively short period of years, which again, in the case of most journal literature, its useful life, except as a library archive, is often quite short. But clearly, if you're in the commercial part of the sector, Creative Commons licenses aren't going to happen in a very easy way. Many of the academic society, I mean, as I said, many academic publishers do now have a more open copyright regime than used to be the case, but many don't. And indeed, there are serious conflicts about that. You want me to stop? Okay. Thank you all very much.
Dean Courant, on behalf of the Wolverine Caucus and the Alumni Association, I wanted to present you this, we like to brag about this part, this 14-karat gold Wolverine Caucus pen as a show of our appreciation for you coming today. So you're forever a Wolverine Caucus member. And again, please join me in thanking Professor and Dean Courant. I couldn't help but think while he was talking, and as this will be aired by Michigan Government Television, and thank you, Mike Blondie, for being here today filming us, how many people will call in and want to know how they can get their personal collections digitized as we go forward. Wanted to thank the Michigan Alumni Association and the Office of the Vice President for Government Relations, and wanted to thank Speaker Jace Bolger for the use of this beautiful edifice today. It was very fitting to have our forum in the Speaker's Library since we're talking about digitizing libraries. So I also wanted to mention that Representative Jeff Irwin from Ann Arbor joined us today, and Rep. Doug Geiss, who you met earlier. Also wanted to thank Gretchen Courant, who is Executive Director of the Michigan Library Association, for joining us today, and Nancy Short from Governor Snyder's office, and then a number of other folks here. Former Lieutenant Governor John Cherry joined us today. Thank you. And Mark Lawrence from Rep. Geiss's office, and DeAndre Hayes from the office of Senator Young was here. So just want to thank everyone. And I hope that you will join us again on June 5th when we will talk about the business of athletics at the University of Michigan. That's usually on a lot of people's minds. And we will have Director David Brandon, that's Athletic Director of the University of Michigan. So we look forward to seeing you on June 5th. And in the meantime, go blue. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. So Veronica, I will send you, I want to clean it up a little bit, I want to take the notes out, but I'll do PDF. So, well, I'm just going to send him one. Yeah. So